Okay, so recording is also started. So let me bring up our GitHub. Bash scripting, and then we finished yesterday on the loops, right? So we completed all the loop section, and then we about to start on the array. Okay, so array is like we have in our cupboards, right? So you have a complete cupboard. In cupboard you have a sections. In the top section you put something. In first section some other thing. In second section you do other thing. So if you want to get the jewelry that is set in the top section, so where do you go? You directly go to the top section. So if you want to get some cloths which are in bottom section, you go to the bottom section. So you have only one wardrobe and you completely section, right? So you can easily access whichever data you want, right? The same way here, array also works similar way. We have a one variable and that variable has sections. So where we can easily call those. So like this. So let's suppose we have been doing A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20 so far, right? Okay. But here, so we are going to take a variable called C, okay? And then it is going to store like this. So maybe I'll show here. So this is variable called C, okay? And this position becomes 0, 1, 2. Now I can store the values here. So in 0, I wanted to store some value called ABC. And here I want to store value called CDE. And here I want to store some number 100. So only variable 1, but I have multiple values in it. So if I want to access the CDE value, then I need to use CF1. So it means, so whatever C variable has, the first position, so first position contains CDE value. So this will give me CDE. And if I want to call the 0, I just say CF0. Then it gives me value of ABC, right? So that is what we use this array. So why we use the array means so that you can have all the same um, cat value. I mean, let's suppose like grouping of variables in one, grouping of one like a properties in one variable so that you can easily access those. Okay, let's suppose you have variable called employee. So employee has a first name, employee has last name, employee has age, employee has department, employee has salary. So rather than you keeping multiple variables, you just use one variable called employee and then you store them in a variables. It's easy to access like 0, 1, 2, 3, and you can say here his name and his age here, and we can increase his salary, something like this, right? That is what we use the array. So now let me check this again. So we have some already how we need to mention the variables and how we are going to call those. Okay, so now let me take one variable. So we have everything inside the scripts. I would say array dot sh bin slash sh. So now I'm declaring a variable. So it's not required. We can also directly use, but it's always better when you are using the variables. Okay. So I use minus a. So I would say my employee variable. Okay. So now I wanted to store the values. So we know we're not supposed to give the space. right? So no space here, and then I'm storing the value. So the first position, I'm assuming that it will always have his first name. Okay, so let's say the first name, and then it will have his last name. Okay, so I'm going to put my last name, and then it is going to put the some age, let's assume. So I'll put the age, and then location, I'm going to put like this. Done. So now I stored all these properties of a user into one variable called AMP. Okay, so now how am I going to access this? So let's do how we can access this. So echo, uh, let's just print it. Okay, I would say $employee. So before that, so let me also do the clear screen here. Now let's execute inside the scripts. So this red background was visible properly, right, in YouTube? Or you want me to change this red background here, guys?
No, it's fine.
Good.
When you watch, right? So now we am going to run the array.sh. See, it is printing. No, it is not working. I'm not supposed to give the comma here. It's a space delimited, not the comma delimited. My bad. See, it is giving me only one value because the variable we are using, which is an array. Okay, so if you don't mention the exact position you wanted to get the value, then it always gives you the first value, whatever you have, and zero position value. Okay, so this is like a normal variable, but this is array, right? So array is a bit different. To call that, we need to use this syntax. Dollar, let me just check the syntax once. It's been a while. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to call dollar curly braces. You are going to open this, right? And then you need to use a half symbol. So now you tell me which position you want to print. I want to print the first position. Okay, now let's see what I get it. I'm getting the last name. So if I want to print the 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Let me print the third position. So if I do the third position, I'm getting this one. So now I can do a proper naming convention, I mean proper printing here. So employee name is, so you are going to mention employee of 0 curly brace closed, and then you can also print he lives in, so which position it is? Fourth position, sorry, third position, like this. So this is how we store the arrays. Okay, so now it also has some significance. So if you want to know the length of the array, so sometimes we don't know how big the array is. So length of the array. To do that, we have same employee. So here we need to use a hash. Now let me save this. Sorry, not here. So let me first, before I show you hash, let me show @ symbol. Okay, so now this is going to print you all the values of the entire array. @ symbol is going to give you print all the positions. Okay, so if you want to know, let me make this sentence properly. Array contains this. Now length of the array, so it is going to be same dollar. I think here we need to use a hash symbol. Okay, let's check it. Employee, I think it's not the right place, but let's check it.
Sir, here array contains employee. At symbol is for.
To print all the positions.
Okay.
So at is going to, now we are picking one particular position here, right?
Yes.
So if
Yes.
you want to know entire variable, what it actually contains, then we use the at.
Okay.
Okay. So now I saved this and then I'm going to run this. What? Oh, I did not close this. Yeah, see, this one is given the 4. So this at dollar employee at the rate is giving me entire array. So adding hash to the start of the variable is giving me length of that array. So length means, so remember we always take this as a 0 position. Okay, position 0, 1, 2, 3. But when you talk about the length, this will be considered as a 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the length is 4. Okay, that's what the variables are and the position. So don't get confused with the position and the length. So positions of array always starts with 0. Whereas if you talk about the length, so its length means length, right? So just 1, 2, 3, 4. We always count with 1. So that's about your this thing. So you can also print the length of the particular variable as well. So length of the name. So same dollar question curly braces we know, and we need to use a hash if you want to get the length employee. So rather than at here, I just want to get the length of the 0 position. So if I use at here, it is going to give me complete length, right? Now I'm using 0 position length. Now let's see what it is going to print to us. I saved it. Now let's run it. Yeah, but it is giving me 6. So what this one doing, right? So we are asking to print the length of the array of 0 position. It is going to count the length of this particular value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is going to print me the 6. Okay, this is how we use the arrays. Okay, so we have some same here. So if you want to append, so we are going to do like this. So same, we to take the variable and the entire variable and then add two more values to the same array. So if you want to replace something, then this is what. So finding and replacing the bat with the ball. So I have this array ant, bat, cat, dog, eagle. Now I'm replacing this bat with the ball. So how I'm replacing? This is how you replace. You mention same dollar alpha is the variable at all the variables slash bat. So wherever you see the value of bat, then replace it with the ball. That's it. This is how you replace a particular string in an array. Okay, and this is about your positions. So printing from second position, it's misspelled, second position. So what it is doing, this is entire array. You are using colon here. 2 means print from second position till third position till 3 numbers. So let's do this, how it is going to print. So now I have this, right? Positions. So what I'm doing, I need to use this one, employee. I want to print everything, colon, first position to uh, second position. Now let's see what it is going to print for me. Is this the same way? Yes. So it is printing K and 34. So first position, so 0, first position, from there 2 more, 1, 2. So if I put 3 here, it is going to print me from there 3 positions. So Arvind. So this is how you can also work on the array. Okay. And then let's jump onto some more. So we have array example as well. So you can also loop the array as well. So in our for loop, so we have used this array, right? So let me write this example. Let me first show you some for loop that we have discussed. So for I in, we use range, right? So 1 dot dot 10 do, and then echo minus n dollar I this thing and done. Array, sorry, array 1 dot sh. So we used for loop like this, right? So now this is a range. So 1 to 10 range, right? So we can also use the array as well over there. So let's suppose I'm using one array. So let's take numbers, okay, equal to. So how do you mention? Like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, again 4, again 4. Okay, it's an array now, right? So now let's loop this one. For I in, so we know how to mention the array, right? So we need to use the numbers. So I want to loop all the variables. So I use array add symbol. That's it. Do echo minus n dollar I. So let's do it. See, giving me the same here and 1 2 3 4 4 4. So it looped 1 2 3 4 4 4. So you can also loop the array as well. Okay, that's what about these arrays. So here you are just finding the position of the particular string. So you currently have these values. So you say my string is equal to cat. So I'm taking one variable as a my string and it has a value cat. I'm looping it. So for every I, so every instance of the array, the loop is getting run and I'm verifying what one condition. What is that? So if $I is equal to my string. So first it goes with and matches with this word, doesn't match. So again, second iteration, bat, cat, not matching. Cat, cat matching. So now cat, cat is matching. So I'm printing the position of that cat string. That's what I'm doing here. And we done with the arrays. So now let's discuss on the functions. So before we jump onto the function, so let's discuss on the arguments. Okay, so what are the arguments and why do we use it? So now let's do a simple m.sh. So in your company, you have been told to automate some software installation. Let's take a basic. So you are going to write the code for that. Okay, so slash bin slash sh slash bin slash sh. So you say the clear screen here, echo installing httpd software. Okay, so I need to install the command, that is sudo yum install httpd -5 so that it doesn't ask for confirmation. It's installed, done. So what I'm doing here, so I'm just executing this command inside a shell script. So it is httpd. So now let me clear the screen and run it. m.sh, see, it is installing httpd for me automatically. That's it. We just automated the software installation task. So if I rerun it again, what it's doing, it's already there, it is not doing anything. But whenever I run this, it is always running installing httpd only, right? So if I want to install wget now, so how do you Do that. Again, you need to write a script for that, for the mwget.sh. But in a company, you might be you may need to install some hundreds of softwares, maybe tens of softwares. So are you going to write a script for each and every one? No, right? Not a good practice. Then what we can do, so we can generalize that by using variable. So now we know that the strings are getting changed here and here, right? Two places. Now let's variabilize that. So how we are going to variabilize this. So here the bash has a significance of some dollar variables. Okay. So dollar one, that is first arguments, and dollar two is the second argument. Dollar three is a third argument. So these are all the arguments by automatically passes to the function and as well as the script. So how does this work? Let's see. Okay. So now I am going to use a dollar one. So before that, let me print here. Okay. Let me print the dollar symbol here. Okay. First argument is dollar one. Okay. So I'm just saving this and then running. Oh, sorry. The clear I used here, right? That I need to use the clear here. So it says first argument is nothing, right? So now let me pass an argument to this file. So here I pass HTTPD. See, it is giving HTTPD now. So whatever we are passing to this file as an argument, this becomes an argument. So is captured inside the special variables called dollar with a number, dollar one, two, three. Now let's print what happens in a dollar two here. Second argument is dollar two. So now if I run it again, what happens? See, dollar one is HTTPD, dollar two is zero because I did not pass the second argument. But there are no errors, right? This is what the bash is. So now we know how the arguments works, right? So let's use that to uh, so let's use that to variabilize this. So we know that it is going to print the dollar one here. I say dollar one, and then I need to replace HTTPD with dollar one. I saved it. So if I now run it, so installing HTTPD software. Now, if I want to install wget, I just say wget. So this will automatically install the wget packages. See, wget is installed. So now the one script can be used for multi-purpose. This is how we actually work on the programming. Okay. Now that is fine. So now let me do some this one. It says wg. So what it is saying? It is error. Unable to find find a match wg. So wge is not an official package in a Red Hat. It's an error, right? But how do we know? How do we capture those errors? To capture those errors, even again, shell gives you special variables. What are those variables are? You have dollar question mark. So dollar question mark is going to give you the written code of the previous command. So written code of the previous command. So let's suppose I'm using a command called touch. So touch abc.txt. Okay. So if this file gets created successfully, then this is going to give the written code as 0. So if this gets fail, then written code is not equal to 0. So based on that, we capture. So if a command gets executed successfully, we always get the written code as 0, right? So we know that rule now. So let's implement this. So how do we capture this return code? By using dollar question mark. Okay, so I'm using this logic to capture my return code. Okay, so let me. So now I have dollar question mark, right? And we know also conditions, right? So if, okay, dollar question mark is equal to 0, it means successful. If not, none, right? So then I need to say the software $1 has been installed successfully. Okay, if else, so non-zero, you can print the software installation failed is failed. Now let me run this. See, we are getting the message. The software installation is failed because the return code is given as a 0. Okay, so remember this dollar question mark always gets replaced by the previous command. Okay, so let's suppose this is also command, right? Echo is a command. So even this also gives a return code. So this return code is immediately captured after completion of this command. Again, if you run the next command, sudo, again dollar question mark will be replaced with the return code of this command. Okay, so this means the dollar question mark will contain its predecessor command, immediate predecessor. Okay, so now if you want to capture multiple outputs, then we need to store them in a variable. So how do you store them in a variable? Here. So let's suppose I'm doing two commands. Let's assume echo is also one command, or maybe I would say touch abc.txt. Okay, so here I'm capturing this output. Okay, so I would take output underscore touch is equal to dollar question mark, and this is output. So output underscore yum is output yum, right? Dollar question mark. Now let me print this. Okay, echo touch return code is. So in which where we have stored? We stored in the output touch, right? I'm going to use same output touch. Okay, and then we can also use /n here. /n is like a new line, and then this is yum, right? mrc is. So we stored it inside the output underscore yum. That's it. So since I use this expression, I need to use -e here. So -e is a regular expression. I'm just deleting this so that we know how it is working now, right? I saved it. Now let's run. See, the touch return code is 0. The yum return code is 1 because the touch is successfully ran, but yum failed. Now let me do again HTTPD here. Yeah. See, both are 0, 0 because both ran fine. So that is how you capture this dollar question mark. And the same way, you also have a dollar. So now you understood, right? How this work, dollar question mark and $1, $2, $3. So now let's make it more programming. Okay. So now I delete this again. So we know all this. How does it work? So again, I'm using the condition if dollar question mark is equal to 0, then so we did this, right? Right. So now I know that this is my script, right? I know how to use this. So I can execute it with this. So if someone else wanted to use it, and they don't know how to use it. They just try to run this and they wait for it. What happening? They're getting errors. So this is where the tester comes. Tester says, so what if someone person doesn't have a knowledge? He come and execute, it is throwing an error. He rise again and issue with you, saying that this is coming an error. Of course, it is a valid because it requires one argument. So when you pass the argument, it works fine, right? When you don't pass the argument, it is failing. So we need to consider some negative scenario as well, right? To do that again, we need to effectively our code. So here we know that it requires one argument, right? So we need to inform the user as well here. So before that, I'm going to check how many arguments are passed. So with the variable called $hash. So I'm going to print the number of arguments passed. That is $hash. I saved it. Now let's run it. It says number of arguments passed 0. So if I pass HTTPD, it says 1. So now we know that we can capture the number of arguments by using $hash, right? So using that scenario, we can also write some logic here. So what logic here? With the again if statement. If I'm using $hash is not equal to 1, then this script expects at least one argument, okay? And then I'm going to use minus n here, close, no, not required. So I'm going to print the usage here. Usage is, so sh m.sh httpd example. So we are printing something, right? Then I'm exiting the code. So I'm exiting with an error. So I need to pass exit 1 here and then free. So what I'm doing is, so before I do main task, I'm putting one condition. That condition says, right? So if the number of arguments are not equal to 1, even though you pass 2, even though you pass 4, even though you don't pass anything, this block becomes true. Then this prints. This script expects at least one argument. So one argument is not matching here. I can remove at least not this these arguments. Sorry. So sorry, I misspelled.
We can directly use you, right, for undo?
Which one? Yeah, we can do you. Yeah, thanks for remembering that. I forgot that. This script expects one argument. It's good that you're practicing then. So now the if block did not run because we passed one argument. Now I don't pass any argument. It says error. You see? Oh, come on. The script got executed and it is fine. So this is how we effectively program. So now tester is happy. Now he can run in any test cases, it fails. So see, it's a simple program. We just need one command to run it, to install a software. But as a programmer, what we have done, so we have done a lengthy coding because we need to tackle all the scenarios. That is the reason why the programming code looks very lengthy, because you try to consider all the possible options to rule out. That is the reason why when you use some softwares like Google or Outlook or Microsoft, anyone, it doesn't complain much because they consider all the possible scenarios and covered all type of errors and everything. Okay, so that's about your arguments. So now since you have got some knowledge on arguments, let's discuss on the function. So why do we use the function here? We use the function to automate some repeated tasks. Let's suppose, so in your company, so you have one task where you need to go and connect some software and download it. So that is being used by 10 projects. So rather than the same code is being written 10 times in 10 projects, you can simply write in one project, and then the rest of the team can just refer it or copy it. Okay, so that's what it is, the function. So now, and also apart from that, so in case in your script, if you want to do the same task multiple times, so rather than doing multiple times, you just do one, you just write one block and then you keep call it. That's a function. Okay, so in this case, the function is going to be this. Now let me write a simple function, function.sh slash bin slash sh. So clear the screen. So let's suppose I want to get the data. Okay, get date. I'm writing a simple function called get date. Okay, so now I need to write the code for this get date function. So I'm writing here get date. Let me just verify once. Yeah, get date. This is the open braces and the closed braces. This is the function. How do you mention? So now I'm writing the logic. So what logic here? So let's suppose I want to print the date. So what is the date function? Is this, right? But I want to print it in a different format. So to do the different format, I need to pass some parameters to this. So like date, percentage y. Let me just check this. So it, it should be percentage here. And I think I might be having it here. Yeah, it's percentage y only. Invalid date. Okay, yeah, I forgot the plus symbol. Okay, so this is the date. See, so I'm just using the format date plus, so percentage y, month, date. 1 minute. Yeah, so I'm just using this date with 2020 10 11 because I'm using y m d. So it's a different format, right? So I wanted to get this format most of the time. So here I'm just using this one, echo. So I'm date plus percentage percentage y, percentage m, percentage d. So I can store this in a variable called my date is equal to, right? So I can simply now say echo my date. So what I'm doing here, so now get date function, whoever wanted to get this date function, right, in this format, they can simply call this get date and then they can use it. So now let me run this shfunc.sh. See, it's giving me this output because I'm using this only. So now here I can write my coding. Okay, so I am working on something. So you can call as many times as you want here in your code. I did something here, and then you can also again call it. See, this is how you are going to use this. So you had to write 2 times, right, this code. So you're just writing only one code. So here I just have only one line, but if you have some good logics, like the way we install the software, right? And then you can also write that software as a function, and then you can call that. This is how the functions are being used. So if you talk about the Java or the Python, so you might be having so many varieties of the Pythons, like, sorry, so many methods. So you can also discuss on the oops as well. So if you talk about the oops concepts, so you will be having some methods, method overloads, whatever it is. I don't know the Java, but you'll get more. So here what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to write my own function here. So we know that addition, right? So let's suppose we have some additions here. So how do we do the addition? So A is equal to 10, B equal to 20, and C is going to be like this, right? So we have this expr, and then you pass dollar $a, and then plus symbol, and then dollar $b. So this is, you are using it, right, to do the addition of this expression. So you can also write your own function to do all this math. Okay, so how do we do that? So let me quickly write the same script. So we are just writing another script for our own rather than this. Okay, so I'm going to first write a function. So let's suppose I'm going to use my own name. Why should I use others name, right? So now I have this here closed. So my function block is ready. So now I'm going to write the logic. So what you're passing here, 1, 2, 3. These are all you're passing 3 arguments. So I'm going to get the 3 arguments, right? So we know how to use the arguments. So this is $1, $2, $3. So what I'm going to do now, so I would say if $2 is equal to plus, then it's an addition, right? So I need to do addition. So echo dollar, not $1. So we know this symbol, right? Dollar, sorry, sorry, 1 plus 2. So what's happening here? This is $1 and this is $3. Sorry, it should be 3 here, not the 2, because this is 1 argument, 2 argument, third argument. So I'm adding now first argument and the third argument. The same way with the minus. So elif if $2 is equal to minus, then echo $1 minus 3. So you can also do so many things. So I'll just say, I would say error. You can also write for same multiplication and the modulus symbols, right? I'm just writing limiting to these 3. So now I'm going to call my function. So I just call my function. Okay. So loki with 3 arguments. So I want to do add 10 plus 20. Now let's see how it behaves. So it's going to be function 1. It is giving some errors because I need to pass them in a dollar symbol.
We can write sum, right? Instead of
Yeah,
what? We can write sum.
you can.
Sum
You
is
can.
equal to dollar. We can write. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just checking that. How do you call the
Okay.
function? addition. Yeah, this is how you call it. Dollar is equal to 10 plus 20. Syntax error plus up line number 9. Okay, line number 9. Oh, here it is having problem. Let me just verify this, why it is actually causing this error. I think this is not getting passed properly. Error token it plus. Yeah, it's why it's 4. This is $1. Yeah, so I missed this dollar value. I thought dollar will work there. See what I'm doing here now. So I'm passing this, I'm calling my function, which is a low key function. You can also write the sum. So 10 plus 2. If you send this variable, if values, then this function will be called, and I have written some logic. So what logic? So I know that I'm going to pass like this: 1, 2, 3 arguments. If second argument is equal to plus symbol, then do this. So what I'm doing, $1 argument plus $3 arguments. I'm summing both together and returning it. So else if it is not plus, if it is minus, then do this. If it is multiplication, you can write the logic. If it is modulus, you can write the logic. If it's divide, you can write the logic, but it takes time. I just use the else. If you pass other than these arithmetic operator, if you pass some else operator, it says error. Now let's check that. Verify the minus as well once. So I need to write the minus here as well, right? So I'm going to write low key 10 minus 20. So perfect. 10 minus 20 is this one. Now let me also call some weird variables. So like we don't have this one, right? We did not write the logic for slash. So let's try this. So it's an error. See, this is how we use the functions. So whatever you wanted to do some repetitive tasks and you want to avoid that repetitive task, then you can do like this. See, I have used function 3 times. So I have to write the logic 3 times. So rather than writing 3 times, I just put only 1 time and keep call it. That's what the functions does in the bash, not bash. If you take any example, so we have so many examples for the functions. So it is going to do the check file. So what I'm calling, so there are two logics. So one logic is this and second logic is this. So if you want, there are two ways of verifying the files. You can verify multiple ways, and we also have this logic with a function. So that's the same function. I'm just verifying the file exists or not, and then
Lokesh.
yeah.
Uh, Actually, in Java, while we are writing a program,
Mhm.
so we get little help. So what command or something, what we are going to write. So here we'll not get any help
Uh,
like that.
in Vim we don't get it. So maybe there are some other editors may help you. So if you use a Visual Studio Code, or maybe let me just check if Visual Studio Code has some type of help. So this is the editor VS Code which I use it. So you select the new file and change this to shell. So you can write the coding here as well. But here I don't think so we get help here. Yeah, it is not coming help. Yeah, it doesn't. And maybe you need to install the corresponding extension for that. So if you go to the extension, so shell, yeah, you have autocomplete shell here. So let me see if this helps something. Yeah, it is coming here.
Thank you.
But it's not giving much, I think. But this you can try. So there is a shell installer available, autocomplete, that you can use it. But it's not giving the exact. Yeah, it is. It's just printing everything whatever you have in the shell. Maybe this will help if you use this VS Code or some other editor. In the Vim, we don't have anything. Everything what you write, you get it. The reason why I chose Vim is it's easy to execute and run. So if I use VS Code, I need to copy this code, paste it here, and then run it. So since I have the Mac machine, I can run the shell script directly. But if it is Windows, then you will have some problem. That is the reason why directly running, writing the script in the Vim directly here.
So here you are writing some program.
Yeah.
So if we have any doubt or something like we are writing proper or not, so how we can know after executing only?
Yes, after executing, yes. So say syntax errors, yes. But if you use this VS Code editor, then you get the syntax error directly the moment you type it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would be using the VS Code, of course, but you would be using VS Code or some other editor, but we are running in Linux environment, right?
Okay.
So
So here, what you have written, so we cannot remember the code, everything, right? So that's why I'm asking.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
we help.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
కర్ణాటక
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that you can do that. So it will come, no
ఎంతమంది
worries.
ఉంటుంది వీళ్ళింటూ
Uh,
1 BHK హౌస్ వీళ్ళింటూ వాళ్ళు నలుగురు ఉన్నారా వాళ్ళ అమ్మ ఉంది
Open, can you mute? Yeah, so we get the help over there when you if you use these editors. Okay, so let's jump on to some other. So again, so we are using the called a print flag function here. So when you understand the loop within a loop, you will get to know. So now I'm using this print flag function to call it. Okay, so let's copy this code as it is. func2.sh, right? I'm just saving it now. Let me keep it open. Now let's me call function2.sh. So it is printing something for me. So I'm calling here 2 times. So what I'm doing here is, so maybe I'll show it here. This is my entire function till here. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm just passing the print flag one number 20. Okay. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking that number into a variable called number, and then I'm initializing a variable with 1, and then my outer loop starts here. So I am looping outer loop with these many times, 20 times. Okay, and then again I'm using a inner loop. So for every outer loop one iteration, I'm going to loop these many times and then printing the star. So after this is completed, I'm printing one line and then I'm doing the same task here as well, one more time. And then that's it. I'm printing the stars and the line and then stars in a ascending order. So I'm calling the same function 2 times. So I can call as many times as I want. So I'm just calling now just only 20 times first time and then I run it. I'm getting this flag. So if someone else wanted to print the flag in their code, they can just call this print flag 10. So we need to source this file into their script. See, 10. This is how we use the function. So the entire logic is now written in a simple function. So whatever in shell block. So if you use in shell block, right? So let's suppose, so we have been using these commands, right? Like yum, and then we used the curl, and then we used wget, right? What are all these? These are all actually commands. And when you call these commands, the corresponding code gets run. So these are all maybe compiled in a C++ or maybe some other languages. So when you call them, the corresponding command gets run in behind. Okay, that's what it is. Clear? So now we have these functions written, and then we have so many examples on the functions. So you can carry, you can verify that. It's easy. There is no big deal in the functions. They are friendly. Function 4, and then we have an arguments. So arguments we just discussed about this dollar question mark and dollar hash. And then what else we have? Argument 2, yeah, the same, this number of question marks, same. Yeah, these are all the arguments. So they are, I might have written some, yeah, like this, same thing that we just discussed, this dollar question mark. It's already there. And then we have working on the files. So files are quite easy. So bash doesn't give the much flexibility on working with the files, because you can just read the file. But if you talk about the Python or Java, so there you have a lot of files. Like you can load the file in a JSON, you can load the file in a YAML, you can load the file in a config, you can load the file a regular. But in bash we just entire read the file into a variable. That's what we do. So here what we are doing in this example, let me bring this up. So let me copy this code as it is, or maybe I'll just open this one. Vim file.sh, I'm just copying. So what I'm doing here, so let's go through. So clearing the screen, and then I'm reading a value, and then what I'm doing here. So let's read this. So we know cat command. So cat command, it is going to print the content of the file. If you remember the command that we executed, right? And then dollar file. Dollar file means it's a variable. So file means what? I'm reading a file name from the input. So this file name will be read. And then I'm passing a pipe. So pipe means what? So whatever output comes from this command becomes an input to this command. Perfect. So whatever output comes, let's suppose it has 10 lines. Then I'm going to read, I'm going to use the while, and then using the command called read. So read means what? So whatever you pass as an input will be assigned to a variable. The same way while read I. So whatever comes from this output, like if it has 10 lines, The 10 lines becomes an input to this file. This file is going to read each and every line and store it inside a variable called I. That's it. And I'm printing it. So this is how you understand the code. So cat, it is just cat in the file. If it has 10 lines, 5 lines, it just prints it. Since I'm using pipe here, this output becomes an input. I use the loop. Okay, I'm using loop. I'm using a read command. What is read? It is going to read the input. So input here coming from the keyboard, but input here coming from this cat file, this cat command. So it is going to read each and every line, store it in an I variable, and then printing it. Now let's do what is happening here. I'm just saving it here. Now, do I have any file here? So let me create one quick file, abc.txt. Okay, this is my first line. This is my second line. This is my third line. I saved it, right? So let's verify. I have the file called abc.txt. So I'm going to save this one. I saved it. Now let's run it. File.sh. So it requires, let's run it. Provide the file name that you want to read. So I want to read abc.txt. See, it printed the contents of that abc.txt. Now let me run it again. So I wanted to print the /tmp/abc.txt. Let's see if I have that file still over there. The file is not there. It didn't print because this cat command did not give any output. So this file did not run. Become false. It didn't run anything. That's how we read the files. So we can also have some more examples on the files, file parameters here. Same thing. So what am I doing here? I am writing some other logic. So what is the logic? So we know that provide the file name, you are passing the file name, you are providing the string. So you wanted to check whether that particular string is available or not in the file. Okay, to do that, you are writing some logic. So to do a simple, you just use a command called grep. So grep minus I. I want to check for the word first in the abc.txt. It is going to give me the output with a highlighted one. So this first word is found in the abc.txt file. Okay, so if you want to write a logic for grep on your own, then we can write a simple code for that. So let me write the code. So let me use the same one here. Already we have this. So I'm using the file name. Okay, I am also asking you to enter the word that you want to look for. Okay, I would say look up word. I take it as a word. Okay, so I'm reading it here. I'm reading the file and I got inside the I variable. So here I need to check. Again, of course, I'm using grep here. So I'm finding the position and which line number. So do you see the line number here? No, right? So I want to print the line number as well. So again, what I'm doing here, I am taking a variable called, let's say I is equal to 1. Okay, so now I'm checking the command grep minus I, which is a parameter, minus I already I used here, right? So let me use another name, J, doesn't matter. So grep minus I, so I'm going to use word and the line, so which is $I. Okay, so I'm going to redirect the output to this thing. So dev null means it is not going to print anything for me. So dev null means, so whatever output comes from this is sent to dev null. Okay, this is like standard output and standard error. So even though this command throws an error or output, will be sent to dev null. So it doesn't print anything to you. Okay. So let me just check why I'm using a dollar echo dollar here than the dollar I here. Let me just verify that quickly. So I'm taking a variable called line is equal to what? This is my first line. So I have this. So grep minus I first in dollar line. Okay, so it's actually looking for a file. So it cannot read the variable. That is the reason why I use the echo over there. Gotcha. Dollar line grep minus I first. Yeah. So this grep command actually works on the files, right? It is not working on the variable. That is the reason why I am printing the line first and then piping that and then finding the word here. So let me also do the same thing. Echo dollar I pipe symbol grep for that word in the value. So whatever output comes will be sent to this guy. So to send the standard output, we need to use 2 here and then this symbol and then and symbol 1. So this is to send standard output and standard error to the /dev/null. Null means nothing. It doesn't print anything for me. Okay. So now I know the position number. So if this command is successful, I am going to get the output as a 0. So if it doesn't find, then it gives me an error, right? I'm using that logic here. I'm writing my if block $? Is equal to 0. Then echo the word $word found in $j line. So let me also print this echo. The line I wanted to print is $I. So phi, and then I'm going to need to counter it. Let j plus equal to 1. Yes. So this is a bit lengthy. So we know this is what we are doing here. So we are reading a file and sending that output to the loop. So I'm going to loop each and every line. So when I'm looping each and every line, I'm running this command. So what this command? I'm echoing $I. So I'm echoing the line. So in that, I'm looking for this word, grep minus I, the word whatever I passed here. So after, if it is found, sorry, and then whatever output comes, because when you do this command, right, it is giving you this line. This is my first highlight line. It is going to print that, but I don't want to print this. So what I'm for that, standard output and standard error are sent to /dev/null. It is sending outside. So I don't print anything. Here I'm checking the condition. So if this command runs successfully, I mean when it found this word in the line, then it has a 0. I'm printing it. If it is not, then do nothing. Just increase every line will have its corresponding number now. The first line, when you read first line, the j is 1. When you read second line, the j becomes 2. When you read third line, the j becomes third. That is the reason. Okay. Now let me save this and run it. File.sh. So provide the file name abc.txt and the word. I would say second. Yeah, the word second found in line number 2. This is my second line, is the line. Now let me run the same thing, abc.txt, and look for the word called line. So the line contains in line number 1, line number 2, line number 3. See, it has. Similar to our grep. So same grep minus I line and the file name. It is printing this, but not printing the position. But now I am printing the position as well. That is the beauty of your programming. So we know all this. So we know the cat command, we know while command, we know read command, we know if command, we know dollar question mark, and we know pipe. So when you know all this, combining all this together at the right time with the right logic becomes programming. Any doubts? No? This is a bit difficult to understand, but once you practice, then you will come to know. So these are all not required, but just I added here so that in case if you in future if you come across to do these certain things, then you will come to know. You may not get the exact requirement to do like this. So this will help you to relate your logical, logically to your tasks. Let's suppose you said that can you loop the file and look for this word. Then you need to remember, okay, then I need to get the grep command. So if someone says that, no, you need to identify the line number. So how do you get the line number? So grep, look for grep parameter. It may be having the some option that will print the number of position as well. But if you don't find it, now you know what to do, right? You can come back here, you can check this reference, and then you do your logic accordingly. You just need some references to refer to get some understanding of what's happening, and then you make changes to your code to make your logic works. Clear? So that's about the files. It must be the same. Yeah, this is the same here. And then we have processes. Yeah, so this can be let's talk about some, yeah, we want to take small break. So it's 9:16 now. So we'll come at 9:30. Yeah, 9:30. Yeah. So we'll come at 9:30. We'll just have only a small. After that, we are good with the bash. I'll just explain you the ssh command and scp command. That's very important. And after that, we are good. So we'll complete the bash and the Linux, and then we jump onto AWS next week onwards. So don't miss the AWS next week. Okay. So I'm just passing this video. We'll meet at 9:30. Resume recording. Okay, so welcome back after a small break. So we are going to cover on the remaining stuff. So what do we have remaining? So we need to work on the these processes, right? So let's suppose in the company, so you have been told to make sure that one process always running, okay, like monitoring. So let's suppose we have installed our HTTPD, right? So let me bring that service up. So I started the service. So let me go ahead and add the security group as well. Inbound security group. Come on, security group. Where is security? So if I go to the security group, I'm just adding the rule for HTTP. Do from everywhere. So let me access my instance. So my website is up and running, right? So now I wanted to write a script that will automatically monitor my website. So if my website is down, I want to get an alert and also start the service automatically. So we don't need to wait for someone to verify it and start it. To do that, so we need to write the automation. So how are we going to write the automation? With a small script. So let's suppose monitoring. Okay, I'm writing a small script. we know that bin.sh that we need to write here, and then first we don't need to clear because we are running it. So now I need to verify our monitoring. So how do we monitor? ps minus af grep minus I stdpt. So if I execute this command ps minus af grep minus I stdpt is giving me these many outputs. So let's count this. wc minus l, it is going to be 7. Okay, so when the app is running, I am getting the 7 processes running. Okay, so now let me stop this app. Sudo systemctl stop httpd. I stopped it. Now execute the same command. So when I do, I am just getting only 1. So it means my website is down, there are no processor running, and I get only 1 output. If my process is running, then I'm getting 7 output, right? So taking that as a parameter, so we are going to write the logic. So first we need to verify our HTTPD processing. So we know the command ps minus af grep minus I stdpd and wc minus l. So whatever output comes, we need to store them inside a variable. So what is a variable? You can say status is equal to this. So status is equal to dollar ps minus ef grep and all this. So now I need to verify if dollar status. So what if my website is down? I'm going to get 1. So it means if it is less than or equal to, let's say 5, right? When mine is up, I get 7. Sometimes it may changes because let's suppose if some other process running the HTTPD, it may create some other process, the count may changes. But we are quite sure that it should not go less than 5. I'm just using one random number 5. Less than 5, then what I'm writing to my website appears to be down. So what I'm doing, I'm starting the service, done. So what is the command to start? We know sudo systemctl start httpd. Now I need to verify that it successfully came up, right? So I use dollar question mark is equal to 0, then echo the website is up. So else, what is the echo statement? There is some issue in bringing the website up. Please run it manually. So I need to exit the statement, exit with 1 because it's failed, and fee. So maybe I need to write the else as well here. Echo say the website is up and running fine. So now let's break the content. So what I'm doing here, I'm using this if statement. So maybe I'll show this in a Visual Studio Code. So this is a Visual Studio Code, right? So now I have the code. This is the first line in which I'm executing this command, storing the output in a variable. So first if block. So what I am doing here. So in this if, I'm verifying if the output of this command is less than 5. It means my website is down because when it is up, I get at least 7. So if it is less than 5, my website appears to be down. So what I'm doing, I'm running this command to start it. So how can I ensure that it is actually started? Again, I'm verifying this command. So if this command gets executed successfully, then I get the return code as 0. I'm verifying with another if condition here. So if condition says, if this is successful, my website is up. So what if this command ran error? I need to print the message, right? That's why else block. So if this command gets successful, this is done. If it is fails, then this will be executed. So this is the inner block. So here, so again I'm coming under top if condition. If less than or equal to 5, if it is down, if it is up, then I need to work on the else part. Website is running. So this is how I broke down the conditions. Okay. So now let me save this and then run it. So what is this? It is going to be sh. What is the file name? It's monitoring. My website appears to be down, starting the service. So it was down, right? Last time we have taken it down. Website is up. So let's go and check it. See, let's refresh this guy. See, it's up. If I run it again, up and running. See, always get the upside up and running. So we can also add this to a cron entry. So I want to run this job every 5 minutes. So how do you do that? So we need to work on the cron. So what is the cron and how do we use this cron? Cron is very easy. So it just like 5 positions. So based on the position, so we can understand when to run, what to, where to run. Okay. So here, the first position talks about your minutes. The second position talks about hours. And the third position talks about day, and this is month, and this is day of the week. So with these just 5 position, so you can do all the combinations and schedule a proper timing. So now I wanted to do every, let's suppose I want to run this monitoring at 7 o'clock in the morning. So how can I do 7 o'clock in the morning here? So this is the hour, right? 7 o'clock in the morning. I just use the 7 here, and this is 0. So 7, 0. It says 7 o'clock in the morning. If you click on the next, this will tell you. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So every day, 7 o'clock. So if you want to schedule this every 2 times in a day, like 7 o'clock and then evening 5 o'clock. So what is the evening 5 o'clock is going to be? 17, right?
17.
19, sorry. And it means 7. So just comma hour. So it says 11, 19, 12, 7 and 12, 19, 12, 7, 12, 9, 13, 19. This is how you do. So if this is how you work on the hours. So now if you work on the monthly, okay, this is month, right? So which month you want to execute? So you want to execute every January, it will be January month. I've used 0 here. I just use a star here now. So first day of the every month. What is giving 1, 1, 1, 1? So first day of the month. Every minute and day of the month. Yeah, this is, and then we need to work on the hour. So we need to start at 7 o'clock and then 0. See, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So once in a month at 7 o'clock. But generally we don't do once in a month. We always do the every day or every month, minute or every 5 minutes like that. So we do this only for the monthly tasks. Okay. And say now I wanted to run every day. I use this star here. I wanted to do every 5 minutes. I do star here. And then I just say here 5. This is not working. So maybe I need to use star by 5. Yeah. So star by 5 is going to give me every 5 minutes. So 9:50, 9:55, 10, 10:05, 10:10. So this is the cron syntax I need to use to run my script every 5 minutes. Okay. Now let me copy this one. Now I go here. Now I'm scheduling a cron. So make sure that when you are scheduling the cron, schedule it at the root level so that it will be always running. So sudo, the command is cron tab. And the option is -e. -e means edit, -l means list. So -e edited, there are no crons available. Save, just type this. This is the scheduled time that you wanted to run. Space, what is the command you want to execute? So the command is, I want to run this command, sh monitoring.sh, right? So I need to know the exact location of this file. So it's inside here. So sh and then monitoring.sh. That's it. So if you want to send the output to some other files, you just give redirect symbol and you can say same, and inside the script you can create a file called monitoring underscore log, monitoring.log. So let me bring this here. So what I'm doing, run this every 5 minutes. What is the command? And this is the entire command. Okay, now I'm just saving this. I saved it. Now again verify the with -l. So it's available. Now let's see if it monitors or not at 5 minutes. Okay, so now let's verify. Do we have any file here? There is no monitoring.log, right? So we'll come back after 5 minutes and see we would be having that log here. Okay, so that's how you schedule the monitorings using the cron tab, or you can do any job. So if you want to run a job at every 7 o'clock or every 5 minutes or every hour, then you can use the cron tab and then create the logic in a script and schedule it. It will work automatically, whatever schedule you provide. So that's about the cron entry and the file processing. So this is a typical company scenario we work. Okay, and then we'll come back after 5 minutes. So what do we have here? So we are doing the same thing, I think. Yes. So I'm using the variable here. So rather than always working on HTTPD, I'm asking you to pass a process, whichever process you want to check, because you may be having HTTPD, you may be having Nginx, you may be having Tomcat, all the services, right? So you can pass a variable name, and the same script can be used for multiple monitoring. Okay, that's about your process monitorings. And then the same thing that we have just done with the PS-EF. And then, yeah, so we do have this. And then this talks about your loops file check. Yeah. So now let's talk about a similar understanding of a typical scenario. Okay. So what the scenario is, let me bring it up. So let's suppose you are working with a vendor. Okay, so that vendor usually sends a file. Okay, so he has agreement that he should send the file before 9 a.m. Okay, and then it will actually takes for you half an hour to load the file. Okay, and so by 9 you should have the feed ready for the business to use. Yeah, so we got this monitoring.log created, right? Because of the cron tab. So let me check this. I
Don't
don't have,
search.
yeah, I don't have a permissions, I think. Yeah, it's there. The website is up and running fine. So this is how the monitoring. Okay, let's go back. So now we have a scenario. So where we are going to get a feed file from the, let's suppose it's a prices. Okay, if you're working for a bank, let's suppose you are going to receive a prices information from the builders, from the Bloomberg. Bloomberg is the one who provides the security information, the pricing information. So 9 a.m. we receive the feed. By 9 p.m. we should receive. So generally, Bloomberg makes it available between 7 to 9 a.m. It can come at any time, 7 to 9. So, but you have to make the files available by 9 a.m. to your business. So you are dependent on the Bloomberg to send the files to you, right? So now you need to be smart here. So it takes 30 minutes. So you know that the Bloomberg is going to send the file by 9 a.m., right? So if you schedule a job to run at 9 a.m., what happens? So it takes 30 minutes. So feed will be available by 9:30 a.m. to your business. So is it acceptable? No, because you already crossed the deadline. So you can start at 8:30, right? If you stop a job at 8:30, that will look for this file, loads it, and completes by 9 a.m. So you are good. So what is the best time to schedule the job is 8:30, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 Right? But what if the Bloomberg said that the file may come at 7 to 9 a.m. So what if the file doesn't come by 8:30? What are you going to do? So you have a tight deadline that the file should be received by 8:30. Otherwise, there is an impact. So now I am going to write a logic here to make the code to make this logic perfectly work in a company. So what I am going to do is, so I know that the file comes between 7 to 9, right? So I am going to start my job that runs at 7 a.m. exactly. Okay. So if the file comes by 7 a.m., then I'm good. So then I am going to loop for this file like till what? 9 a.m. So it means 120 minutes. I need to loop the file. Then every minute I check, do I have the file in my location? If yes, then process it. If not, then loop, loop, loop. So then at 8 o'clock, if the file is not received, what am I going to do? I am going to trigger an email to the support team if the file is not received yet, because it's a precautions, right? Because we just have only half an hour of buffer time over there. File is not received, that's fine. So you trigger an email to the support team, then support team gets alerted. Now the time is 8:15 a.m. You send an email to Bloomberg automatically saying that the feed is not received. And then again after 8:15, you are going to check if 8:30, if the file is not received yet, then you are going to drop an email to users saying that delay in processing. Okay. At 9 o'clock, if the file is not received, then you are going to drop an email to everybody and then the process dies. So this is the perfect logic that I'm going to write. So how am I going to put this into a batch scripting? Can anyone tell me? So what are the things that you will consider to solve this logic? 8, 8:15, 8:30, and then 9 o'clock,
We'll have to use while, and
right?
then we have to check whether we're in 7 o'clock, and then in the inner loop we have to write if it satisfies, then we'll have to send the email, and
Right.
then
So
8 a.m. in that way.
yeah. So how do you verify that it's 8, it's 9, it's 8:30?
We use time,
That's
time and date.
You use date.
that's
Okay. Okay.
right now you use that command, right? Cans. What is that?
Yeah, date command
Yeah.
or the cal. Yeah, that's it. And what else? So how
And
do
then
you?
time in
Mhm,
minutes and AM PM.
mhm. AM PM. Tell me what else? What this thing? So you use while loop, you use date parameter, and then what else?
You'll need to use if clause inside the while loop.
Yes, you need if conditions to do what?
If file comes, check. If not, do this.
You have to
If
verify the
else.
file is available or not.
Yeah. And then I
Then what
think
else?
If else.
same like corn, like whatever you did with that.
Yep, you use if else as well, and then
I lost the track how many we used. So
so this is
In
the
a
thing,
while loop,
guys.
we have to use if else condition. If it is satisfied, yes. If it is not, else. Uh, uh, and after that, end of that, it is exit. Because 9 a.m. it is failed, right? It goes to the
Right,
message to the manager. It dead.
exactly. So this is what we are going to do. So let me just clear this. You guys clear this, right? So first we are going to check. First we need to start at 7 a.m. So for that, what we are going to do here, we need to use what?
While
We
loop.
need to use cron tab first, right?
Yeah.
To trigger the job at 7 a.m. And then after that, what we need to do, so we need to use the loop condition that loops for 120 minutes. So I need to use a loop that loops
Uh,
for 120 minutes.
but at
So
7
how
a.m.
can I
we have
sure
to.
that is 120 minutes? Because I need to sleep for, so I need to sleep for 60 seconds. So that is every minute. It is going to be 2 hours, right? And then I need to look for the file existence is available. If yes, then process it. If not, then sleep. So at what tells me that it is now time is 8 o'clock. So when the counter becomes 160,
60 minutes.
right? Yes. So when the counter becomes 60, then it becomes
1 hour.
60 minutes, it is 1 hour. So when the counter becomes 60 plus 15, so which is 75, then it is going to be a email to the manager. Okay, is Bloomberg. So if the time becomes 90, then it is a mail to Bloomberg, right? If the time becomes 120, it is going to be a,
Dead.
yeah, mail everything. So this is how we are going to utilize and then run our logic. Okay, now let me write the logic here. So the same, so we are going to look for the file. Uh, let me say, what is that? Okay, feed.sh. Okay, so first we need to write this thing, bin bash sh. Okay, so we need to wait for the file. So first let me loop it. So what is a loop? Then you can use while or you can use for as well. Okay, I would say for I is equal to 1. So I is less than or equal to 120, right? 120 times, and then I is equal to I plus 1, right? And then I need to do. So now I entered into the for loop. After that, first I need to verify if the file exists or not. So file existence minus E. So where is the file? Let's assume it is running in this location, right? So that's TMP. Okay. So the prices.txt, if exist, then so file is available, right? So you can process it. The file is available, so processing it. So let's suppose processing means you're copying data, you're doing something else over there. So you are done, you just exit it. It's completed, right? You don't need to again loop it. If it doesn't come, so what you're going to do, you just make a print statement here. The file is not
Is
arrived
it
yet,
elif or else?
else.
Okay.
Yeah, the file is not arrived yet. So I'm just printing it. So now I am also verifying conditions, right? So we need to work on the mail conditions, right? So now I am verifying if $I, okay, is equal to what? First 60 minutes, right? So equal to 60. So then I'm going to drop an email. So let's suppose the mail function is not working here. So let's suppose I'm just printing this. Okay, mailing to support team about the delay. About the delay in feed. Let me bring this bigger screen. Okay, now elif if $I is equal to what next is 75. Then drop an email to Bloomberg, mailing support team and Bloomberg for the prices. Okay, again elif $I is equal to what 90. So we're almost into 1.5 hours. Then drop an email to support Bloomberg and manager. Manager elif $I is equal to 90. Let's suppose 105. 15 minutes delay. Still it didn't come. Drop an email to business users about the delay in feed. That's it. So now again one more elif $I is equal to 120, not 120. Let's suppose 120, not 119. Last block, last minute. Then the file is not arrived. Please contact the Bloomberg immediately. So it's support team. Okay. Now else do nothing. So you say the file is not arrived, already is there. So you can leave it and then feed. That's it. So what I'm doing now, we have multiple if conditions. The first if conditions, verify the file available, then process it. Then exit. If not, it just prints it. And after that, I'm verifying the counter. If $I is equal to 60, it means 16th minute, which is 8 o'clock. I'm doing this. Okay. And then 8:15, I do this. 8:30, I do this. 8:45, I do this. At 9 o'clock, I mean almost one minute before, I do this. And then dies. Okay. Now let's see. Save this. Oh, sorry. I need to close the done. Okay. Now let's run this. So, oh, I did not use sleep here. You see? So sleep, we need to sleep, right? So I'm going to, or I can write else here. Else sleep for 60
60
seconds.
seconds.
Okay. So in our use case, so 60 seconds means it takes a lot of time, right? So let's assume the second as a minute for us here, so that we can see the result immediately. Okay. I'm seeing if now. So let's assume the second as a minute here. Okay. Now I'm saving this. Now let's run this sh feed.sh. There is an error. Why there is an error? Unexpected token. Yeah. This one. Yeah. The file is not arrived at. So every minute it is checking. So now let's make the file available. So what is the file name? Pricer.sh, right? So let me touch the file /tmp /prices.txt. The file processed. See, the moment file arrived, the file has been processed. So this is how the logic works. So we don't need to work. So We don't want to wake up at 7 o'clock to monitor this job. We just written a script which need to schedule this. So I just go to the sudo cron tab -e. Then I need to write the another logic which needs to be scheduled at 7 o'clock, right? So it's going to be 0 7 star 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 sh. So I have the scripts here only. Script slash feed.sh output, because I need to of course have an output, right? Feed.log. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
file, if a file is Arabic, so we will
Mhm.
get like a beep or any sound. So how do you know that?
No,
So we
we
have
don't
to
get
check
any. Yeah, yeah.
1 second, every second we have to check it like this.
No, every
File is
minute. It depends how we want to check every minute or every 5 minutes.
okay.
It
So we
depends.
didn't get any notification like any sound kind of that.
No, well, we have a notifications configured at the 16th minute. Actually, after 1 hour we configure it. So if you want to receive this at the 10th minute itself, we can also write accordingly. So let's suppose I'm making it the 10th minute. Okay. Now I'm running this. Oh, file already available, right? So let me delete this file. rm-rf prices.txt. Now let me run this. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, we got this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after 10th minute, we got this. So let's wait.
Okay.
So let's wait for 17. So we will get this as well. So we'll come and watch this later. Okay.
Okay.
So that is how the file arrivals and the processing works in a typical company. Okay. So this is just a logic, right? So we know everything. So we know cron tab. So we know if conditions, we know if else conditions, we know sleep conditions, we know for condition. So we just used all this together and add our logic, and we created a automation. We don't need to now wake up at 7 o'clock to do something. So we can sleep till 8:30. If the file doesn't come, then we go and talk to Bloomberg. That's what we are going to do. Okay.
Okay.
See, it's sent to Bloomberg now. Mailing support to Bloomberg for the prices. So this got triggered. So after 15th, this got triggers. So mail command we need to use here, but we don't have the mail working in this. So that's why I'm using this echo statement to make this is what I'm doing there. Okay. So see, even drop is there. And then we have a business after 15 minutes more. So we don't need to even worry about what's happening. So once you open this log, we will have all this information. See, that's it. So that's what about our automation. So you will have the same thing here as well. The loop for file check, and then yeah, the same thing. We have it in the 12 seconds I have taken, I think here. And then what do we have? And the SCP, the file. So now we need to know the very important thing about the SCP. Okay. So I'm bringing the two machines now. This is a bit of important, guys. So just pay attention. So now let me bring up a new machine, launch instance. I don't know whether I have that key with me. Key pair is SUV. Where is SUV? Yeah. So this is what we do the SSH. So SSH and SCP. So these are actually two important commands that you would definitely come across when you start working it. Okay. So far we have been using the SSH, right, to log into the box. So how it is actually working in behind? We're not passing password, but it's working. So this is actually called the passwordless authentication. It is a SSH key exchange. Okay. So here we have two types of keys. Okay. So one is private key. Everyone pay attention, it's important. And second one is public key. So you have two types of keys here, private key and the public key. So what is this actually talks about? So when you say private, the name itself says which is private, it should be secured. When you say public, it is publicly available. Anyone can have access to this public key. Okay, so let's suppose now I have a machine A. Okay, and this is machine B. So how a user can connect to this box from A to B? To do that, so he need to use what? From here, he need to use a command called SSH. Okay, and then the IP address of this box, and then to whom you know, it minus L parameter, I know so and so. So I know this guy. So once you execute these commands, it will prompt for password, right? Then you put the password here, and then you will be here, right? This is SSH works. SSH means from one shell block, shell session, you are using SSH command, which is secure shell, using this IP address target, and as this user you want to log in. If this user is configured with the password, then you enter the password, then it will allow you to log in. This is what we have seen. So let me first show that with that example. So where is this box? Okay, the second box is also coming up. Now let me log in to this box here. So this is my machine A and machine B. So I'm coming out of this exit. I exited. Okay. So SSH EC2 user. I need to use first SH, the IP address or the host name, right? And then minus L parameter, which is the user. Okay. I hit the enter. I say yes. It is failing because it is not enabled with the password. So I'm using the key minus I SUV PEM. Now I logged into the same box. Now let me do the another IP, not this IP, this IP. I logged into the same box. That's why I'm just using now different IP. SSH IP, this user EC2 underscore user, and then the minus I SUV.pem. Yeah. So now I logged in different box. So first box I have 107. The second box I have 90. Okay. Now I have two different boxes. So let me go ahead and edit the SSH configuration so that we can log in as a using with passwords. So VI let me password authentication says no. I'm going to make it as a yes. Okay, I changed it. So let me restart the service sudo systemctl restart sshd. Now then let me create a user sudo user add. Let's suppose create the -c as a SUV, and then I'm going to create the user called Santu. Okay, Santu is a user, exists in this box. Then I'm going to reset the password of user called Santu. Done. So I successfully added the password. So now this box is hacked. Now this box also allows user to log in with the password. Now I'm trying to access. So what is the command? SSH and the IP address. I again copy the IP address one more time. Which user? With -L. Now Santu user. Ask for the password. I entered the password. See, now I am logged in as a Santu on this IP address. Right? This is all we know, how to hack the AWS machine to allow the password authentication. But this is not actually doesn't work when you are trying to integrate between the applications. So your application has to copy the file from this box to this box. In that case, there is no human interaction needed. So we want to automate that. So how do we automate the password? Passwordless authentication, okay, securely. So again, for that, we need to first generate the key. Okay, so you go to the user directory. Now I am inside the EC2 user, ls-latr. You see .ssh here, directory, right? You go inside .ssh and do ls-latr. Do you have any files? Only one file, which is authorized keys. That is fine. Okay, so now we need to generate the key here. Okay, I go back to home directory. The command to generate the key combination is ssh, okay, hyphen keygen, generate key, -d RSA. So we are going to use a remote secure authentication RSA token. Hit the enter. So it will give you some prompt to you. What is that prompt? Enter the file name in which you want to save the file. It's asking to save the file. We just take the default location. Okay, hit the enter. Default set passphrase is another mode of authentication. Let's say enter and enter. So the key got created. If you want to verify where is the location it got created, it created inside the this location user directory.ssh. Okay, so now I am user home directory. I go to .ssh. Now you see the private key and the public key. So this is the private key, this is public key. So remember, private key should be secret always. Okay, public key can be shared. So now what I am doing, I am sharing my public key with this guy, with user Santu, because I want to connect from machine A to machine B automatically without giving the password prompt. So I just read this file first, id_rsa.pub. I got the public key. I copy this public key. I go here. So to whom you want to log in as? Santu, right? So you go to Santu directory. You go to .ssh here. The file is not there, so we can create it. So make directory .ssh. .ssh has a high privileges, so we need to secure that. chmod 700.ssh. So we got .ssh 700. Now you go inside .ssh. Just check the file. It is empty. So we need to create a file called authorized keys. Authorized_keys. So vim is not there. So let's use the vi. So vi authorized keys. The file is here. You just click the insert and paste the public key. Do not try to alter anything. Okay, and then just come out. We just came out of the authorized keys. Now do ls-latr. File again has so much of permissions. We do chmod 600 authorized keys. So remember, .ssh should be 700. Authorized keys should be 600. So only user will have read and write, remaining all 00. Okay, now I came out. So now I successfully integrated the machine A and machine B. So now the EC2 user from machine A can log into machine B as Santu user. So it doesn't ask for the password now. So you want to verify? Let's check it. Okay. So now I'm going back here. I just do see clear. I'm going to my working directory. So to access this box, I need to take the target machine IP address, right? And then what is the command? SSH IP address minus L. User is Santu. And then just hit the enter. It's asking for the fingerprints. Just say yes. And then what? You are inside into Santu. Did it ask for a password now? No. Why? Because we integrated this machine and this machine with SSH keys. Okay. This is how we use SSH keys in a company. So if you want this user and this machine to be communicated, logged in without any authentication, then we use this authentication. I mean, passwordless authentication. Clear? So what actually we did here is we generated a key combination. Okay. The key combination is this: lock and the key. Okay. So this lock can be opened with only this key, right? It's a combination. It's a unique. So you cannot duplicate this. So once the key and lock is generated, they are combination. So we cannot actually uh, duplicate that. So we can also generate n number of key combination. So both are unique. So this key will only work with this, and this key cannot work on this lock. So you can generate n number of key pairs. So make sure that you always protect the private key. So you should not share that information. So once you share with others, then it's compromised. So anyone can log into any box. Okay. So now I have two boxes here. So now I have two boxes here. So which is machine A, and this is machine B. So you need to be a user. You need to be a user. So you can have multiple users here in this box. Okay. So but you should know one person. So maybe this guy. Okay. Then you generate the key. So private key and the public key. Then you give this public key to this guy. And this guy, what it does, he is going to copy it inside his home directory. And he has directory called .ssh, and here there is a file called authorized keys underscore keys. So once he copies, then a successful connection is made to these two boxes. This is how we do. So here, when you're generating the key, the command is ssh -keygen -t RSA, the remote secure authentication token. So it will by default generate a private key, public key in user's home directory inside .ssh. The file is going to be id underscore RSA and then id underscore RSA dot pub. Public is a public key, of course, right? So this is a default. So it's also ask you to enter the passphrase. So what is passphrase here? So passphrase is another layer of security. So you can also create a secret token, maybe your name or something random string. So when someone execute SSH command, even though the keys are successfully matched, it will again ask you for the passphrase. There's a password again, one more time password. a dual authentication. It kind of, but generally we don't
Location
do that.
should be same private and public password is.
No, it's a different. You can put even random string
Okay.
like skies are blue,
Okay.
like my cat is black, like anything password. So it will matches. It also asks for the same thing passphrase, but we generally don't do that. This is only done by a more secured environments like bankings or credit card systems like that. Or
Okay.
when you're connecting databases, then they will use this so that you have dual authentication. So even though your keys are compromised, you still have the passphrase protecting you. But we generally don't use that. That is a key. So here, so when you run the SSH key, it always creates inside a .ssh directory, right? So we can also create the key in a different place as well. So let's suppose I'm going to run the same command. So I'm in the Santu box. I'm exit. So I came out of. So now I'm running the same command ssh-keygen -t rsa. So already I have the key available here. Okay, do not try to override that. If you override that, then whatever keys you have generated previously, they all fail to connect again. That's why you have to create a new key. So new key, I am going to store it in a /tmp new. So passphrase, no. So now I have my new key created in the /tmp. So I go to /tmp. I have a new private key and new public key. So if you want this key to be used, then we need to use SSH -i parameter. So -i will tell you which key you want to take it. So let's suppose, so this is the machine A, right? And this is machine B. So this user wanted to connect to this box. So he has to carry key with him. So if you don't mention -i parameter, then this guy always carries his default key, which is in .ssh. So if you want him to carry some other different key, you inform with -i parameter. So use -i parameter key and then try to access this. Okay. So my key, new key is available in /tmp new. This is a private key. So which user you want to connect? -l Santu. And what is the IP? And the IP is this. So now tell me, does it work if I execute this command? Yes or no? Works or not? Just say yes or no.
It should, I think.
It should work. Okay, let's see. What is asking? Password. But
Password.
we are using key here, right? Because the key is not authenticated. The reason behind is we generated the key. I agree. But did we hand over the public key to Santu? No, right? That's fine. Again, I need to take the new dot public key and then copy this key. I told you, right? Each and every combination is different. So again, you go to Santu here. So you go inside .ssh, you open his file, which is authorized keys, and then you go at the end. Again, you paste that new key because this key is a combination which exists in .ssh, and this key is a combination which exists in /tmp. I saved it. So now let me try to run the same command again. Now we entered because now it has the public key that needed. That's what we use the SSH. So this is bit important. So the thumb rule is you always have two keys, private key and the public key. Private key, you're supposed to be keep it safely. The public key can be shared with anyone. So if you want to communicate two machines passwordless mode, then you have to share the public key to the target machine, and the target machine user must copy it inside the .ssh authorized keys file, and then in the target machine .ssh directory should be 700 permission, and the authorized keys should be 600 permission. If you don't have anything, then it doesn't work, because people spend so much of time to troubleshoot the SSH connectivities in the company. So now you know these thumb rules. So when someone complains that my SSH is not working, then you verify all these steps. The public key in authorized keys file, confirm, and the .ssh is 700, authorized keys is 600. Okay. And also you should make sure that he's taking the right private key to connect it, because he might be having multiple keys. He should use the right private key to connect to the target box. So these are all the important stuffs. Okay, any doubts? So this is machine A and this is user. So now he has machine B and machine C. Okay, so he generated two combinations. Okay, key 1, key 2. Okay, so he added the key 1 to here, public key 2 to here. So now when this user wanted to connect to box B, then he needs to take the which key, which private key he needs to use? Private key
Key
1,
2.
because in B we have copied the public key of key 1. In C machine we copied the public key of 2 machine. And if this user wanted to connect to machine B, so which key he has copied? Key 1, right? So he need to take -I parameter key 1, and then connection gets established. So if this user tries to connect machine C with the key 1 combination, then it fails because there is no combination available. So this user used key 2. So that's why we need to use the key 2 to connect to machine 2. And apart from that, so one user can copy the same key into multiple machines. There is no problem. So he can just have one key and he has copied that public key into all these boxes. So he can easily access it. So remember, so this guy is holding private key. Okay, only this can connect to targets. Targets cannot connect back to this machine because the private key is held by this guy, and these people just having public key. They are just allowing the door. That's it. And these people doesn't have any authority to go to his machine because they don't have their keys shared with this guy. Okay, that's what the SSH is. The same way we use SCP. So SCP is a secure copy. So we have used the copy command, right? So where you have a source and the destination. So if you want to copy a file from one server to another server, then we need to use the SCP. So this is the server A and this is server B. The command is SCP. Okay, so you have a file here, which is a source file here in the same box. Now the target. What is the target? This is remote box. So we need to use the IP address. Okay, sorry, we need to use the user at IP of this box colon where you want to copy the file. I want to copy inside the /opt. So then this will work. Okay, you want to see? Let me just quickly verify this. So now I am into Santur, right? So I'm exiting this box. So I go to inside the scripts directory. So I have this feed.sh. I want to copy the file to Santu. Okay, so the command is scp. I want to copy the feed.sh. Where I want to copy? I want to copy in this box. So how can I connect to this box? With this user Santu at and the IP address. Where is the IP address? This guy colon slash inside the OPD I don't have privileges. I copy /tmp. Okay, see 100% got copied. So if I go to this box /tmp, I have this feed.sh here. This is also we use the SCP. So now if you want to download it from this box to this box, then how can I download? Same, simple. So I have a /tmp. I create a file called abc santu.txt. Okay, so I have a file here and I want to download in my box. So how can I download? Same, scp. First I need to mention the source. So my source is in the target machine. That's fine. I use the santu at the IP address of that box. Where is the location available? /tmp. What is the file name? abc underscore santu.txt. Okay, so where you want me to copy? Now target. So this is the SCP and this is the source. Now target. So I want to copy it here. So you can say dot slash. Dot slash means in the parent working directory. Hit the enter. See, it's downloaded. If I do ls minus ldtr, I have the file. That is how we use the SCP as well. Clear? Yeah, so I think that's it from my side. If you guys have any doubts, let me know.
So in a company, we would be having a lot of EC2 instances,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So like every, I mean, at the authorized key, we need to keep pasting
No.
it, isn't it?
Not required. So only if there is a need to integrate two machines. Let's suppose I have a machine A and machine B. So you have to copy file from machine A to machine B. So you can do manually with SCP, right? But if you want to automate that, so in our feed scenario, so let's suppose I have this feed scenario, right? So we talk about processing, right? Processing the file. So let's assume processing means what? We need to copy that file. So here I'm going to use SCP Santu. So I need to take the file. So file is /tmp prices.txt. Process it to copy it to Santu. That is what processing means in our case.
Okay.
So I need to copy this to /tmp. Okay. This is our processing. So now I can run this feed. So let me run this job ssh feed.sh. File is not arrived yet. So let me create the file. So touch /tmp /prices.txt. Okay, now let me run this. See, the file got processed. So this is what processing we did. So if I do /tmp, I have the prices file here. So like this, if you have this integration, then you use the SSH keys connectivities, and then we use the SCP command to copy that file.
Okay.
Yeah. So ready? I think that's it from my side for today. I think we overran. I don't want to add so much. What's up, others? Sangam and Prakash. Any questions? Or if not, then we can wrap up and meet next Saturday to work on the AWS. So we are going to pick up the EC2 service and we discuss all the EC2 options like creating VPCs, everything. Okay. Any doubts for today's class? Last time.
I mean, like, like there's a few doubts, but the thing is, like, I think once we go through this video one time and then just practice one time, then I think it's going to be a lot clearer.
Yeah,
Because
so just practice it. So let me know in case if you run into any issues, then I'm free to discuss in the WhatsApp or in next class.
okay.
Just do practice. Don't forget SSH is important, and all the remaining scripts that we have written, especially the last, that automating some of the stuffs. Come up with your own logic as well. If you think of some own logic and try to write it in a script, that will help. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. So have a remaining nice Sunday. So catch you up on Saturday.
Thank you, Lokesh.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.